One of the most fascinating things about human life is some within aspects of certain individuals within the society of being human find themselves developing a narcissistic, egocentric view of life, whereby it's also not just fascinating, it's annoying that certain human beings feel like they are way more important, that even feeling to the extent of feeling like for your importance to be realized, you have to devalue other human beings, you have to dehumanize, you have to make other people feel like they are supposed to be subordinate to you, or bow down to you at your very appearance, very being there. And my my personal belief is that human life is inherently valuable, regardless of who you are. You may be a person maybe struggling with things of depression, suicidal thoughts, or such kind of things, but I could waste my time and tell you all the kind of people who became famous or did something successful in their lives about the situation that they were in, being suicidal. But that was not the intention of this video. And then now I've managed to succeed and change their life from that suicidal past to present now. That is actually the opposite of what this video is intended to do. My personal belief and what I aim to deliver to you, to inform you about, is that regardless of whatever societal status has put on you, regardless of how high or how low you might feel you are in, not only feel but also be, whether, I don't care whether you're the president, whether you're the village chief, whether you're the farmer, you're the peasant farmer, or you're the teacher, you're the nurse, you're the doctor, regardless whether whatever you own, because every human life is inherently valuable. Inherent, by virtue of being a human being, you are already dignified. Some people feel like by virtue of the status they are in, by you are being put there as a class rep, by you are being put there as a prefect or a leader of whatever sorts, you think that other human beings are supposed to value you. Like, I have a problem with this thing of the queen calling the queen or kings their titles of uh, the titles of kings and queens, and maybe president, those titles that they use. But certain people feel like that, but that in itself is what I am here to talk about today. Some people feel that whatever you own, people, like in the societal setting, whereby people with more wealth are given priority, or or are seen as being more human, more more valuable than other people without those possessions and properties, which is absurdly disturbing, because I believe and continue to believe that human beings must find a way of being humble. Being humble in the sense that whenever you are with somebody less fortunate to have these things, or you are the person who is less fortunate, do not bow down to other human beings. Do not expect other human beings to bow down to you. Basically, what I'm talking about, it can be, some people call it arrogance, but something I realize is that arrogant people don't realize they're arrogant. So even the best you can do is tell them that, oh, here are the signs that you know you are arrogant. Whenever you find a person that, if you enter, if you are the kind of person that if you enter a place where people are without being recognized, you feel subordinate. You feel like you need to be recognized. That there's an urgency of you being recognized, of you being saluted by other human beings, or something like that. That is the disturbing part. It builds arrogance in the long run. These things, I was talking about this. I was talking about this with some friend of mine, and he told me that this can develop from childhood, the environment which somebody grew up in. If you grew up in an environment where you are always winning, you've won everything in your life, you've always won, you've always been number one, maybe in school, maybe at home, maybe you've gotten used to people bowing down to you. I use the word bowing down, but necessarily, you know what I mean when people feel the need to hear your thoughts, regardless of how stupid you might be, or how irrelevant or unnecessary those comments might be. But if people around you are always giving you that kind of, of bowing down, so when you grow up and become an adult, you feel entitled to that respect, which is not even respect. It's a form of perverse admiration. Perverse admiration in the sense that people are not admiring you like for the personality or character that aspire to be like this person. They're admiring you as a different type of demigod. Not demigod. A different type of God that they're supposed to be worshipping. Yeah. So that is the problem. That's critical. If you grew up in such kind of an environment, vis-a-vis a person who never grew up, who grew up in an environment where he was a loser, where people didn't expect much of him, people didn't, maybe grew up in an environment where everybody knew he was a failure, and nobody really expected much. That is the kind of person I would love to be, because I thrive in such conditions. Because every time when everybody looks at you as a failure, you don't really have somebody's expectations to meet. But when everybody expects much and everything, they expect worlds. That's now the negative side of being in that class A kind of situation environment that I've just described. Everybody's expecting much. Sometimes you can't deliver, but most of them, even if you can't deliver, you'll always have that egocentric pride of yours controlling your life and making you think or want to behave in that kind of way, in that kind of environment, that cube that they've already put you in. But the other kind of person, the other situation, vis-a-vis the other person I was describing, who grew up in an environment where people don't expect much, I thrive in that kind of situation where actually I've been through that kind of situation where the only person you have to prove yourself to is yourself. Jishinde ushinde. It's a Kiswahili textbook we did in class 8. Jishinde ushinde. Like, you are competing with yourself. You are not entirely. You live your life for yourself. You know, you only live life once. And if you live it right, once is enough. You know? So you are competing to satisfy the things that wake you up in the morning, you yourself as a person. But if you are that kind of a person, my real motivation to you, or something that I can tell you personally, is that please stop caring about what other people think about you. Stop caring about whatever people think about you, whatever they want to say or discuss are discussing about you. People will always discuss you. That has never changed, will never change, has always been like that since time immemorial. It is the essence of human nature. Nobody has ever managed to change it. Nobody is planning to change it. Please live your life knowing that regardless of where you are in the society, people will continue talking. People are always talking. They will always be talking. That has never changed, will never change, can never change. Please. Now it's time to focus on yourself. How do you focus on yourself when your self-esteem is low? First, low self-esteem is a very dangerous thing and very difficult topic to handle. But I've been there before, me myself. My advice to you is win something. Even if you believe you can't win something, win something. Win in eating food in 5 minutes. Just win in the most ridiculous thing you can win in. win 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 a competition that you are running yourself. Just win something, just as a starter motivation to get your mindset from believing that you can't win in things, that this is your status in society and you're supposed to be bowing down or worshipping other human beings that demand that from you. I don't tolerate such kind of individuals, but I encourage you to be humble. Humility, I think, is the number one lesson every human being should have. If you're not humble in life, that you're doomed, you're cooked, you're finished. try try in your life to be humble. Don't not just try, make sure you're humble, so that as 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 you grow from that position, from that situation where you are in, before before the before your self-esteem was lowered, depression, anxiety, stress. Also, my other advice is that give yourself objective led timetables. You can say that by the end of the week, I plan to finish certain things. Just make them simple, especially if you're coming from a position of you've never made objective-led timetables. Objective-led timetables really helped a lot in academics one time in my life when I was in Form 4. But I know how they work. I use some today. That you said that by the end of today, I need to accomplish 3 things or 2 things. That is objective led. Objective is to finish this thing or to do this thing or to uh, send this thing somewhere. Just have an objective and give it a time frame. That is an objective led timetable. It's not like a timetable that has been written there that 7 a.m. I'll wake up, or 6 a.m. or this do this at this time. An objective led timetable is inspired by given a time frame that by the end of 6 months, I aim to finish this, and this. That's the objective led timetable. So if you're that kind of a person, that's the best advice I would give to you. If you're the other kind of person that is arrogant or does not know if you are arrogant, I can tell you few ways you will know about if you are few signs that will tell you if you are arrogant person, or you are that kind of, I'll call you arrogant, but you know what I mean. Somebody who just feels that you are way above other people in society. One sign is when you have in your mind you look at human beings as status, not status. You have classified human beings. Never. If you are ever in a position where you can classify human beings. Classification of human beings begins like when you walk in the street and you say these are politicians. You know that's a form of classification. These are okay, politicians. I've just used that example. These are teenagers. These are but I don't mean politicians or teenagers or elderly or villagers or how do they call people in town? City dwellers. Uh, you don't. I don't look at them like, okay, there is that need for classification of human beings. But what I'm talking about is that you have a narrative about who is a politician, and this narrative of who is a politician affects what you think about what you think or how you perceive the things that a politician tells you, or this your fixed narrative about who is a teenager affects what you think about a teenager. For example, you can say that okay, a teenager tells you something, then you tell him that you're just a teenager, you don't know much. Look at other human beings as fellow human beings. When you do that, you're going to understand, you're going to live in reverent awe with these individuals. You're not going to be seeing like you're put among children, but you're seeing that these children are supposed to be kneeling down at your very being there. The second sign is when you struggle with the recognition. When people you want you you want to be felt. You want to, yeah, you literally want to be felt among in every place you enter. Every place you enter, you want to be felt. You want people to know that you are there. You want people to know whether you enter a hotel, even if you don't care whether you are in a new country, you are in a new restaurant you have never been in before. And then the third and final sign is when your conversations. This one is a tip that please monitor your conversations, especially with friends and people you know at home, at school, or anywhere you are. Your conversations, if you are speaking with a person and the thing you're speaking about the most, if speaking about yourself or your life or the things you love, take up more than 50% of the time that you are communicating with this other person. If there are 3 people, then the ideal is 33%. If you are 2 people, then 50%. You need to be listening more. Humility will tell you that if you are that a humble person, the time you are going to be talking about yourself will be less than 50%. But signs of egocentrism is when you are talking about yourself for over 50 minutes or over 50% of the duration. Thanks for listening and have a blessed time.